Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Laesha and this is my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the military spouse tag, so I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you like my content, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Alright, let me get the questions pulled up. Let me see. I just had them. Alright, so I found these questions on the internet. I will put a link to where I found the questions in the information bar. If you want to do the questions as well and you're a military spouse, you're more than welcome. Tag me so I can see your video because I love watching these. So the first question is, how did you and your spouse meet? We met in college. We went to Georgia Southern, and my friend, or we have a mutual friend named Seth, and he introduced us. I was hanging out at Seth's house one night, one Friday, and he was like, do you guys want to go over to my friend's house? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? We went. I really liked his place, and I was asking Seth, like, hey, does he have a girlfriend and different things like that? Seth gave my number to him, and then he called me, and like we were inseparable. Like after that, I hung out with him one day, and then I just kept hanging out with him, and then we became boyfriend and girlfriend. The next question is, how old were you two when you met? I was just 20 and he was about to turn 21, so I had turned 20 that June and he turned 21 that December, and we met in October. So yeah. The next question is, how long have you been together? So me and my husband have been together for 12 years. Almost 12 years. It'll be 12 years this year in November. So like I said, we met in October. We started being boyfriend and girlfriend in November, and that's pretty much how the story went. Oh gosh. Alright, the next question is, where are you and your spouse originally from? I am originally from the Bronx, New York, and my husband is from a town called West Palm Beach, and it's in Florida. And yeah, we've both been to where each other is from. So yeah. The next question is, how did you feel about him joining the military? I was proud of him, but I was really shocked because that just didn't seem like something he was into. Like I said, we met in college, and it just never seemed like the military was something that he wanted to do. And he actually joined late. I want to say he was 26 when he joined. So yeah, I didn't think he was going to do it, but I think it's a really good fit for him. It goes with his personality, and now that he works in the medical field, it's like a win-win. He really enjoys it. The next question is, where did your spouse go to basic training? He went to basic training at Great Lakes, and it's in Chicago. So it's not in Chicago, it's in Illinois, and it's about 30 minutes or so from Chicago. He doesn't know anything outside of the base, because when you're in basic, you are just doing basic. Like the Navy does not play that. That's all you do. The next question, let's see. Has your spouse ever been deployed? No, he has not been deployed, but we have been away from each other twice in our marriage, or in his military career. The first time was right after we got married. He moved to Florida, and I was still in Georgia because I was finishing up my aesthetic school, and the way that the aesthetic program is in Florida, they need like a fraction of the hours that Georgia needs. And so I was probably three-fourths of the way done, or something, like maybe half of the way done, and it just made more sense to stay in Georgia. And then the second time is when he came here. He went to training to be basically like a field medic, and I stayed in Georgia because I didn't know anybody here, and I didn't want to come here, and I wasn't going to see him anyway, so I just stayed in Georgia. The next question is, ever been to his promotion ceremony? I go to all his promotions, re-signings, whatever I can go to, I go to, because I feel like that's a part of our relationship that makes it strong for us, is we support each other. So I definitely go to anything that he does. If he gets an award, whatever, I'm there. The next question is, how long have you been a military spouse? In November, it will be 5 years. So he went to basic in June of 2011, and we got married in November. And so I've just been a military spouse the whole time. The next question is, did you marry him before or after he joined? I married him after he joined, but we had already been like basically like common law husband and wife, because I think in Georgia you just have to live together for 2 years, and we've been living together, or we lived together for like a long time before. So yeah, I married him pretty much after he joined, but I had always been with him. The next question is, how did your husband propose? I don't really know how to answer that, because he's like proposed to me before, and then pretty much like a couple weeks before he was going to basic, he was like, we were on our break. We were on the break I was telling y'all about, or I don't know if I told y'all about, but we were on a break for like a couple months. Like basically it was like a year before we got married. We kind of broke up and we weren't together. So before he went to basic, we would still see each other off and on, and we would still talk like once a week. And so we were hanging out for a holiday, and he was like, I really want to be with you, and when I get out of basic, I'll buy you whatever ring you want, if you know, we just get back together. And I was just like, I don't know, we'll talk about it. But while he was at basic, I just really like fell back in love with him. I wasn't actually out of love with him, but you know, like when he was in basic and he was writing me and I was writing him, like I wrote him probably like twice a day. I was putting mail in the mailbox at my school, and we just kind of decided to get married, if that makes sense, and we did. The next question is, where did you get married? So we got married in Texas, after his A school, which is like basically where they learn their job. And so he's a corpsman in the Navy, and so their basic is in Texas. And so I flew down there afterwards, and we went and got married. I didn't want a traditional big wedding, or I didn't want one in the beginning. I want my kids to be at my wedding. So we probably will have like a big traditional wedding with like all our family and our friends, probably when we've been married 10 years. So we'll just see how that goes. So we got married in Texas, in San Antonio, if you guys want to know. Where did I get married? Yeah, and we got married in San Antonio. The next question is, how old were you two when you got married? I was 27 and he was about to be 28. So yeah, 27 and 28. 27 and 27, and he was about to be 28. Did he wear his uniform on your wedding day? No. We just went like to a department store and bought a dress and bought some clothes, and we got married like that. And I'll put one of our wedding pictures at the end. I'll put some pictures of us at the end. The next question is, where are you and your spouse currently stationed? We are stationed in North Carolina on a Marine base, and the reason we're stationed on a Marine base is because he works at the hospital, and yeah, we're on a Marine base in North Carolina. Okay. The next question is, do you live on base? No. I don't think we'll ever live on base throughout his military career, unless we live like in a foreign country and they make us live on base. Next question is, how long were you married when you had to go through your first separation? So our first separation was about 3 or 4 weeks after we got married. What happened was, like I told y'all, I was staying in Georgia and he was moving to Florida, which was his first duty station. And I went with him. We spent Thanksgiving in Florida, and then I went back home, and that's pretty much how long we were married before our first separation. The next question is, what is your favorite base so far? I would have to say where I am now. I did not like being in Pensacola. We lived like so close to Alabama. It was kind of racist where we lived. And I like only going to the beach, and like the fact that we could eat seafood like all the time. Other than that, I really hated being there. I didn't like my job when I was there. I just didn't like it. So I would say here, but I'm really excited about where we're going to next, or where we're supposed to be going to next. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's what happens. The next question is, do you think your spouse looks good in his uniform? Yes. I like him in all of the uniforms he has. The blue ones are my favorite. But I also like how he looks in like his NSUs. Is that what it is? Don't get me to lying. I like the blue ones. The only one I'm not a fan of is the white ones, and I heard that they're actually switching, so I don't know if I'll like this new one, but we'll see. All right, the next question is, do you think military life is more advanced than civilian life? No, I do not. I think it's very different. You live away from your family, away from your friends. You're very isolated. You're around a whole bunch of new people. A lot of times it's like a small town. And I also think, like, I don't know, it's not advanced, it's just a very different lifestyle. What I will say is a lot of people get married younger when they're in the military and have kids earlier and all that stuff. So that's what might seem more advanced. But for me, like, we had a regular life, a regular smuggler life together before, and we had like 6-7 years to like be a couple before we got into this whole military situation. So to me, no, it's not more advanced. It's actually a lot slower. But it depends on your experience, is what I'll say. All right, the next question is, do you like the benefits you receive as a military dependent? This question is yes or no as well. I'm very appreciative for them. I don't have to pay for health care. Having my baby did not cost me 1 cent, not 1 cent, and that was really helpful, because I know some other people, like, either they have to pay out of pocket, or they have to get on Medicare or something like that. So I didn't have to, Medicaid, or what, I think it's Medicaid. So I didn't have to do any of that. But what I will say is you have to work on their time. So it's just kind of like, it's a give and take with the health benefits. Dental benefits are are just not good regardless. And then the one perk I do think is, like, the exchange is really great to shop at. It's tax free, and then also, like, they have really good sales on like cosmetics and perfume and cologne, especially. Like, I noticed those sales are like A1. You could get stuff that's like $100 a bottle for like $60, $70 a bottle. So that's a plus to me. But those benefits do, help out a lot. All right, the next question is, do you have a lot of military wife friends? I am a guy's girl. I just I feel better, or I work better with men, or I get along better with men, if that makes sense. And so for me, no, I don't have a lot of military wife friends. I can be nice and polite to anybody and say hi and bye and hang out for a little bit, but I'm just not a real girl's girl a lot. And so no, I have like maybe 3 friends here that I would like, okay, I could call them and be like, yeah, let's go hang out. And I think only one is a military spouse, and she just became a military spouse. And then she has some friends that I'll hang out with every once in a while. So yeah. What is the hardest part of military life? I would say there's 2. One is being away from your family and friends. It can feel very isolating. Like, you are isolated. You live in a town that you're not from, and you don't know anybody, and you have to figure it out and get around, and just depending on like what your husband work schedule is, that can be hard. And then also the job market where you live. I moved here and I came with a job, but then a lot of things happen. And so when you live in these small towns, like, a lot of times it's minimum wage, and I'm just not used to getting paid minimum wage. I never really made minimum wage. even in high school, I didn't make minimum wage. So I would say the job market and then being isolated from your family and friends. The next question is, do you own military wife stuff? Yes. So my husband got me a breast cancer shirt, and then it has Navy wipe on the sleeve. I also usually get like the shirts from his command. So I have a few things. Yeah, I have a few things. Do you support your spouse as a member of the military? Yeah, like it wouldn't work if you didn't. Like if you were just resistant to it, it's not gonna work out. The relationship's not gonna work out. Your marriage is gonna falter if you're not supportive of the fact that they're in the military. They work really long hours sometimes. They have to get up early, and then they have PT sometimes, and that's in the morning. And then they have mandatory fun and this, that, and the fourth. So if you're not like a team player in your marriage, or you don't support the fact that he's in the military or she's in the military or whatever the case is, it's not gonna work out. So yes, I definitely support my spouse. I definitely support my husband. I'm very proud of him for making the decision, and you have to support them or it's not going to work out, because it's a lot more than just a 9 to 5. It's a 24-hour day job they have. It's not a 9 to 5 job. Like, they get deployed, they have duty, they go out in the field, they got to go to training. It's a lot. So if you're not supportive, it's not going to work. Some questions I noticed that were missing on this tag is what branch of the military is your spouse in? My husband is in the United States Navy. Yeah, he's in the United States Navy. Another question I noticed that was missing is, what is your spouse's job? My husband is a corpsman, and pretty much he manages the clinic that he works in. So I mean, he has somebody that's over him, but on a day-to-day, like, he does most of the stuff. He does training, he works the front desk, he does a lot. So that's what he does. What made your spouse join the military was another question I noticed was missing. For what I noticed was that it was during like when the economy dropped, and he was like, I gotta do something, you know, I have you and I want to have a family and blah blah blah, and things are just not going my way, and he just decided that was something that he could do, and that's what he did. Another question I noticed was missing is, how did your spouse prepare to go in the Navy? So he actually had to lose weight, because I like him thick. And so he had to lose weight, and then once he lost the weight, he was able to get in. So I hope this was fun. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in another one. Bye.